Welcome to the Real News Network. I'm Shir Hever in Heidelberg, Germany. After Jeremy Corbyn became the leader of the Labour Party in Britain in 2015, the party began a crusade to purge itself of members suspected of anti-Semitism. It quickly became apparent, however, that the real goal of this purge was not to clean the party of anti-Semitic elements, but rather to expel all members who expressed critical views against the Israeli occupation of Palestine. In January this year, Al-Jazeera published an in-depth investigation of the involvement of the Israeli Ministry of Foreign Affairs in the internal politics of British parties and interviewed Jackie Walker, the vice chair of one of Labour's organizations.
Some of us would say it was mostly a constructed crisis for political ends. I would say there is a crisis of the way that anti-Semitism is being manipulated and being used by certain parts of not just the Labour Party, but other parties and the media to discredit Jeremy Corbyn and a number of his supporters. I mean, let's disagree politically. I'm anti-Zionist, they are pro-Zionist. Let's have that argument. Let's have that argument, not this that's going on at the moment, no.
Even the Al-Jazeera report was under attack, with pro-Israeli groups lobbying accusations of anti-Semitism, although it was announced this week that the British Ofcom agency cleared Al-Jazeera of the accusations. In this context, that it was published last week, that Moche Machover received a letter expelling him from the Labour Party. Moche Machover is a mathematician, philosopher, and radical socialist activist, noted for his writing against Zionism. Born to a Jewish family in Tel Aviv, then part of the British Mandate of Palestine, he moved to Britain in 1968. Machover was the founder of Matzpen, the Israeli socialist organization, in 1962. He was among the first Israelis who spoke openly against the occupation of 1967. In Britain, he has become a prominent activist against war and apartheid, not just in the Israeli-Palestinian context. He is an author of numerous articles and numerous books. Thank you very much for joining us, Moche.
It's a pleasure to speak to you.
So you wrote an article with the title, Anti-Zionism Does Not Equate Anti-Semitism, which was mentioned in your expulsion letter from the Labour Party. Why did you write this letter and who raised these allegations against you?
Well, there is some confusion about this article. This article is actually a report about a talk which I gave months ago. And it was originally published in a weekly called Weekly Worker. The latest hoo-ha concerns actually a reprint of the article that was disseminated by a group of people called Labour Party Marxists that are allegedly, or in fact, I don't know, somehow connected with the little group that publishes the Weekly Worker. So I was contacted by someone from this Labour Party Marxist with whom I have no direct connection. And they asked me for permission to reprint my article. And I willingly gave it. I would do the same for anyone who wants to reprint my articles. I'm very keen for my views to be disseminated.
And the letter of your expulsion talks about the Labour Party Marxists and claims that they are a front for the Communist Party of Great Britain. And actually, in an interesting twist in this article, in the beginning, the letter expelling you is talking about anti-Semitic accusations, but then says that the real reason for expelling you is because you are associated with Labour Party Marxists. And in fact, you're not being accused directly of anti-Semitism. You're instead accused of being a traitor to the party, somehow a double agent, because you have a double loyalty because of this group that reprinted your article. Did you have a chance to defend yourself against these accusations?
Oh, no. It was like summary execution. No chance to answer any accusation. But there is an interesting twist to this tale. Yes, first of all, the accusations against me of anti-Semitism, or allegations really. I mean, they don't say who those alligators are who are lurking in some swamp. No. it's just an insinuation. This is just mood music. The eventual cause for my expulsion is my alleged connection with a Labour Party Marxist. But the irony is that I read last week's the actual current issue of Weekly Worker, a letter by a comrade called Stan Kiebel, and he apparently is one of the Labour Party Marxists, and he got a letter expelling him, and his sin is publishing my article. So you see the circularity.
So even those who are reprinting your article are being expelled as well, not just you as the author.
No, but the circularity is that I'm supposed to be expelled not for the article itself, not for writing the article, which I didn't write for them. I wrote for, some time ago for Weekly Worker. Anyway, but for having alleged a connection with Labour Party Marxists. But this guy from Labour Party Marxists is expelled for publishing my article.
Right. Okay. So it's guilt by association for both of you.
No, it's worse than this. It is a vicious logical circle. If you think about it, I'm expelled for being associated with them, and they are expelled for actually publishing or republishing, in fact, an article by me.
Right. Well, yeah, and it's very similar to this attack on Al-Jazeera, that they are exposing people, expelling people from the party by using false accusations of anti-Semitism, and the response of the Labour Party is to accuse Al-Jazeera of anti-Semitism. But what is happening to the Labour Party? Is the Labour Party trying to commit suicide in this policy of kicking out so many of its members? Can pro-Israeli groups really have so much influence in the internal decision-making process? Or is this a strategic decision of the Labour Party? They want to be a war party like it was in the time of Tony Blair.
Oh, I think you've got it all wrong. It is not an action by the Labour Party. It is all part of a struggle within the Labour. The Labour Party is, in fact, not trying to commit suicide. It is trying to resuscitate itself. And it is resuscitating itself by moving to the left. It has become a mass party by a flow of masses of activists, many of them young, but also some old ones who previously were disappointed or despaired of politics. And they are mostly on the left. This is how, Corbyn became leader. So you have a party whose grassroots are massively on the left. And also its top leadership, Jeremy Corbyn and his close associates are on the left. But the party bureaucracy and the party in parliament is still left over from the Blairite right-wingers and careerists. And they are trying to defend their positions and to fight back. And one of their dirty bombs is the accusation of anti-Semitism.
So actually, for this kind of old guard, more conservative branch of the Labour Party, they are exploiting the Israeli lobby to try to remove the progressive.
Yes. I don't know if you watched. If you have a video of Corbyn's address to the recent national conference of the Labour Party, it was last week or a few days ago. The bit of it that got the most enthusiastic standing ovation was his support for the rights of the Palestinian people.
Yes, and we are covering actually Corbyn's speech here on The Real News in a separate interview. But I want to ask you one last question. This is all a very recent development. You received this letter just last week, but I can see that you're still you have an optimism about the future of the Labour Party, and you talk about a wide base of progressive supporters, more to the left. Can you tell us a little bit about the kind of support that you've been receiving from organizations that heard about your expulsion and how they are responding? And is this giving you some kind of support?
Oh, this has been most encouraging and gratifying, and it keeps my hopes up for the Labour Party. Of course, the fight is still on, but the right wingers will not give up so easily. But I think it's sort of a last trench or last ditch fight on their behalf. I've received massive support, both from my local Labour Party, or what used to be my local Labour Party before I was arbitrarily and summarily expelled, but also from other branches of the Labour Party, far and wide. And the resolution supporting me and demanding my reinstatement, immediate reinstatement, are receiving almost or totally unanimous support, or almost unanimous support. I mean, in my local branch, for example, my local area branch of the Labour Party, a resolution supporting me and demanding reinstatement was adopted NEMCON with 2 abstentions. But this is not very exceptional. I get a lot of support, which tells you that this is not the Labour Party against me. It's the right within the fighting last-ditch battle against the massive grassroots left, which is now, I mean, the Labour Party now is the largest party in the whole of Western Europe. It is, it has a new inflow of members of hundreds of thousands of people. It is a massive, huge party, and mostly on the left.
Well, I'm certainly hoping that you will be quickly reinstated, and I also hope that you will agree to join us again on The Real News for additional interviews. Thank you very much for joining us.
I'll be delighted to talk to you again.
And thank you for joining us on The Real News Network.